Hello. Wait a minute. Where's my microphone? It's way over here. I really like that. The boom and everything. Being able to, like, put it up and bring it back down and stuff like that. But, everything is cheap these days. It doesn't lock down. You want something with a microphone. You really need it. And what this eventually starts to do is it starts to slowly drift down like this. And so I'm getting lower and lower and lower. Anyway, man, I'm late. Late to work, as per usual. Well, I don't schedule Sunday, but time's a wasting. I'm going to get some licensed subscribers. I need to learn how to play this dang game, because it's like, I think a factor of if you're not a girl, and you're just like a dude or whatever like that, and you want to have a successful stream, I think you need to be kind of entertaining. And if you just get weaponized and nuclearized and destroyed all the time, I guess that would get old. But anyway, I moved up a bracket. There's a guy, I love the guy. Some people, it's like they're so imaginative. They name their their player after some word from the voice, Ninja Master, or they name their character. One guy named himself Bracket. He moved up a bracket. So now, whenever I see, Bracket, I'm thinking, I'm helping him, right? I moved up a bracket. There goes a bracket. I must have moved him up. And, when you see somebody that, I was making a joke about being imaginative or unimaginative or whatever like that. It's like when you see somebody changes their name, or they makes their character name to be Ninja Master, it seems kind of unimaginative. It's like, I can't think of a name, but somebody called me that when I was playing the game, so I'll just go by that, right? But then to choose, the voice never says bracket, right? You moved up a bracket, right? That, it's just like, get out of my way, And so, yeah, somebody is named Get Out. And I guess they got it because the game said, get out of my way. And they're like, oh, Get Out. That would be a good name. Whatever like that. Sort of can't come up with anything. So I'll just take whatever is lying by the side of the road here for my name. But the thing I'm trying to say is, like, I like when I first saw the guy, his name was Bracket. I was like, there's another one of these guys that can't think of a name, so he named himself after something the game said to him. Well, the game doesn't actually say that to you, right? It tells you, it just told me that I moved up a bracket. And so, yeah, when I thought back on it, I was like, poor Bracket, I thought he had an unimaginative name. But now, when I think about it, it's like, oh, that's what they were telling me. I moved up there goes Bracket. I must have moved him up. I wonder if he was the bracket that I moved up. Moved up a bracket, right? Get it? Anyway, I love stuff like that. There's a video about Don Van Vliet, who was Captain Beefheart, the leader of a very avant-garde blues band, or weird Dada-esque music band, and he got so ripped off by his evil music industry contract people or whatever, that he basically had even trouble to even play any of his own music after years of hard work or whatever, that they basically took it all away from him. And he was like, well, I like painting, and so he started painting, and he became a abstract painter. And he was like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do music. Well, I don't think at the outset, in my understanding of it, he didn't decide immediately to quit doing music. That he kept doing music, and then he was trying to sell the paintings, and his art agent was like, as long as you're still doing this Captain Beefheart and his Magic Man thing, you'll always be, the rock band guy that paints. You'll never be a painter, really, the way the art world is, right? That's the sort of the way I receive the story. And so he decides, like, well, if that's the case, I'm tired of this ridiculousness anyway. Zappa tried to help him get back on and get going, and Zappa was frustrated with him and thinking he was dumb to let himself get screwed so bad. But it's just the way I keep in touch with the world is very gingerly, because the world touches too hard. And but what I'm trying to say is this: the noticing language and the nuances of meaning and everything. So he's very good at that. So they were making a documentary about him. I think a Dutch guy or something was like, I love this guy's writing, his poetry, his art so much. I'm going to find him in the desert and make a documentary about him and ask him some interview questions and maybe interview him with some big muckety mucks or something. So he actually has David Lynch, who's a fan also of Don Van Vliet. He has David Lynch come on during the documentary to ask him a question, and it's like, "Hey, Don, how you doing?" "I'm doing good, baby. How you doing?" And David Lynch is like, "I just wanted to hear what you had to say about the sun in the desert and the heat of the sun," and Don was like, "I'm glad it didn't stroke me." But right. Anyway, you had to have been there. But I should get my ass in gear and start getting into some Japanese robot mayhem combat. All right. I don't know. I feel that's a little bit too loud. I'm gonna bring it down. Okay, am I in the right mood for this? The only way I can tell is, let me look at the battle. Do I have deathmatch? I got 2 deathmatch tickets. How do you get more deathmatch tickets, especially during free for all? You need lots because you got all the squad dropping episodes. Where it's a stupid waste of time. Yeah, it would be cool if they could fix that. I don't know if they can. Maybe a big change, not chump change. When you plan out a program or something like that, rising complexity over time it's a big nemesis. I heard every day. I was working with Linden Lab, and they have Second Life in Block's World, and they had Sansar, it sank or whatever. And they didn't really have good, I would not say leadership that knows anything about game development. They knew that they got leadership, like the boss in my office, he knows a lot about DVDs and car stereos and stuff. Not anything much about game development, but he liked to play Second Life and be a little naked teenager tied up on a railroad track, and he got really popular doing that. So he said that he was a big Photoshop artist, but I actually never saw him do anything whatsoever. Seemed like he was just trying to get a date. But I don't know. But as a technical support agent person or whatever, dang it, what was that? For Linden Lab, these programmers would be working with the product all the time. I'm not my dang. See, I can't fire it, and my EMP didn't work right. Okay, let me just go out here and see. So what's not working is my mouse. It seems like my mouse was just working a minute ago. Hold on. Okay, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, my mouse is locked up. My dang 1 deathmatch ticket, and okay, right up to now, my mouse was working, and then I came into this application, and it's not. Well, dang. How could that be? I've been using my computer all morning. I just used it to turn on the music. What's going on with this? Guys, you know, I think really I'm just gonna have to Control Alt Delete here. I don't know what's going on with my mouse. Dang it. And Control Alt Delete is not working. That's great. That's always good. Need that. Okay, yeah, my mouse is not working. Inside, outside, upside down. So. Okay, well, there goes my. Okay, now all of a sudden it started to work, but now it froze again. I'm gonna have to stop the stream. I'm sorry. Well, let's see. 17. Yeah, there's a squad dropper out there. Well, no, he doesn't look like a. No, that's very unbalanced, man. For only 2, right? And he's killed 17. Nobody can touch this guy. And also he's moving around so fast that, yeah, whenever anybody's about to kill another mech, they're destroyed by him before they can win. I think really maybe I need to restart my computer, sadly. Oh, Mech Arena just crashed. But yeah, what did I do? I turned my mouse off. Turn it back on. Yeah. You see that right there? My mouse is working fine. Well. Okay, wait a minute. Yeah, man, my mouse is fine. Do I really need to restart? I need to restart Mech Arena. That's what needs to happen. Dang it. Well, it's alright. My mouse is over here. It's working fine. Okay, I'm relaunching Mech Arena. Look at this. My XP virtual machine is telling me to run updates. I don't want to update it. It's working fine. You're going to break it. That's what you're going to do. My goodness. Okay, here we come. I need another monitor screen, you know, really. There's not enough screen real estate. I don't have a big enough desk for that, really don't. But I need it. Alright, my mouse seems to sort of be working. I wanted to just jump in, you know, to have me a nice free-for-all battle. And this is what I get. Okay, well, okay. Let's just try it. Well, hold on. Maybe it's... Maybe the universe is trying to tell me something. That I should upgrade these weapons. Long arm 10. 1-4. I can upgrade that again. 10,000 damage per. Okay, now. Yeah, I'm going to the dark side of the robot combat force. 94. So yeah, I would like criticism on this, but I don't know. I sort of I like this configuration because I can work with it. Dang it, I lost one of my dang free-for-all deathmatch tickets. I hope it doesn't do this to me again. And no, I'm not gonna take it now. I don't have time. Shouldn't it, you know, we got kids out here. She just put a shirt on or something. Oh, brother, that's all I need. What is this guy? Wait, okay, I got it right on here. Trixie, what are you doing, Trixie? Sorry about that. Here. Stupid. Taser. Okay, yeah. What did he do? About 80,000 damage. 2 arc torrent. Yeah, it's probably even more than that. And I'm getting internet connection loss. This is great. I don't seem to be suffering from any internet yet. What the hell? Okay, let's see. I might as well. Okay, now my mouse is not working again. Right. Okay. And here we are. Let me just take my hands off the keyboard, take my hands off the mouse. No point, really. Why struggle? And see, my mouse is completely gone again. Oh, wait a second. Now it's really gone off. Okay, maybe it's my mouse battery. I knew this was coming. Well, there goes my deathmatch tickets. And, oh, now it's back on again. Oh, see, that's the mouse working. Old pulse cannon going there. Did I kill somebody accidentally? With my loose cannon? Oh, yeah, see, there goes my mouse. Might as well go down and get Vaponauz and Myclonaz. There you are, hi. Hey, buddy, Sheikh Zula. I didn't expect to see you here this morning. What are you doing? Oh, sorry. Those mechs are kind of wussy-fied. Okay, see, my mouse stopped working again. Okay, and it did turn on. Okay, so it's probably a stupid mouse battery. That's hilarious. I'm leaving it off for a minute and see if I can get it to come back on just briefly and get me out of here. Oh wait, escape. Leave the battle. Yes. Okay. And what? Yeah. Now I apologize. I didn't plan to come on today, but I should have at least done some preparation. I'm a total slacker or whatever like that. You would not believe. I had this just to a friend of mine died, right? And he was a guy. I'd come back from China after being out for 7 years ago. I've been back and he's been dead for a long time and everything like that. But I qualified for jump school in the Army Rangers and would have been sent to Kosovo, right? But the thing was, when they gave me my papers, I qualified at Fort Benning. I got all my shots. PT'd until my behind was sucking buttermilk, all that stuff. I was salty. I was ready to go. And my comrades or whatever. Oh, he said comrades. He must be a commie Jew. No, my cohort. Is that better? Yeah, they went to Kosovo, and stuff. Well, okay. I signed on the paper. It said this one question. You got to solemnly swear, so help you God. Well, Jews are not supposed to make vows like that. You're supposed to do what you say, what you do, and do what you say, and don't make any don't make promises you might not be able to keep. Could be a big deal, right? And also Jesus said that. I mentioned this before. Jesus said, do not swear, right? So I always say, you know, when they go in the court and they're like, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and you have to put your hand on the Bible, so help you God? It's almost a way to check that you hate Jesus and you've rejected Jesus, right? Because Jesus very clearly said, never do that. That's the worst thing that you could do. So it shows, well, I mean, if you may not, you know, really consciously reject and hate Jesus, but you just you never read the Bible, actually. You're just in the church or whatever. It's just a thing that you do or whatever. But I'm supposed to swear on my papers to sign in the Army Rangers that something, right? And this line on the thing, it said, are there any circumstances whatsoever under which you would, for any reason whatsoever, feel restrained from the taking of human life? And you could check A, yes, I am a conscientious objector, or B, no, I'll kill anyone. It doesn't say that. That phrase on A, on the second thing, it just says no. But by saying no, what you're swearing is that you'll kill anyone, anytime, for any reason, or no reason at all. If you know how to read English, you know what legal stuff means or whatever. That's what you've just solemnly sworn. And I couldn't swear that. So I said, well, I guess I'm going to be digging latrines or something, right? I didn't think they were going to say, we don't want you, right? But yeah, they said, we don't want you, and they kicked me out. And the guys in my cohort were like, I can't believe that you signed in conscientious objector. What's wrong with you? And it really took all of you guys, I'm sorry, but you really lowered yourself a step in my mind, very much lowered yourself when you revealed to me that, yeah, well, sometimes I might not want to kill somebody, but I'm willing to swear to God to the contrary, that I will kill anyone anytime for any reason without restraint. Legal or illegal, that's what you're swearing, you know. By, you know, to take that lightly, and so, you know, I really lost. I could never recover the respect that I lost. But the thing, this is connected to Kosovo. How I talked about a friend of mine died, right? Well, I had a friend, David Dickens, from when I was in junior high in Paideia, and he was just like the most wonderful person that you ever know. And then when the punk era started or wherever, he became the most raging punk rock safety pin. You know, he was the coolest guy. He had a mohawk that was like 3 feet high, you know. And I just always, you know, I was just all, this guy is totally amazing, David Dickens, right? And so we hooked up again on Facebook after I came back from China. I mean, for years I didn't talk to those people from Paideia, right? And we hooked up again, and we were talking, and then all of a sudden on his Facebook, well, we're sorry to say David has passed away in his sleep. And I was like, man, now what does all this have to do with me avoiding getting sent to Kosovo? Well, David had Facebook friends, and I was so aggrieved by his loss, and I wanted to talk to some people, and I went and I started adding some of his friends that I didn't know. And I added this girl, and she's a pilot in the United States and everything like that. She's like, why are you adding me? Who the hell are you? And I was like, did you know David Dickens? And, you know, I was sad about, you know, and I was adding you because I was hoping maybe, you know, we could talk a little bit about him or something like that. I added several people like that have become very interesting people in my life. So, you know, treasure people. They're really wonderful. Well, it turns out I discovered that, you know, during the Kosovo crisis or whatever, she was trying to get people avoiding American bombs out of the. She was like a Bulgarian tank commander girl. She's like a real tank girl, you know, or whatever. And she's a real intense person. And you know, I'm not hunting. I'm married, and I'm not hunting for a girlfriend or something like that. But she gets pissed off at you know, I like her, and she gets pissed off at things that I get pissed off at. But you know, sometimes she's I know I'm annoying. She gets annoyed with me, but I do like to talk to her. Well, this morning my mouse is working great now. Look at that. Yeah, something. something is up, and it's not stopping working. Well, maybe it's yeah. I need to not screw around. But it's like this. An Asian, I think what happened is an Asian friend of hers got assaulted, sexually assaulted in a library wherever they were. I'm not sure where they were, but she was really upset. And what happened with me this morning, and I'm also talking about ill preparedness and stuff and not getting ready for my stream and everything, is I remembered like when I was in college, just a lot of memories came flooding back. And what had happened is in American culture, in case you don't know American culture or whatever like that, girls, in our era, our milieu or whatever, when they want to break up with a guy, they go and they maybe have sex. They start something up with another guy, and it helps them break the spell or whatever. And the word that they have for it is, I was on the rebound. I'm sorry, I'm going to break up with you because what happened between us is because I was on the rebound, right? I was trying to break up with another guy, and so I had sex with you to, ease the to get him. I was trying to get away from it. I was trying to get him out of my mind or whatever, and that's part of our culture and the way things were done. And I was not prepared for that when I was really young, and I was trying to be really, really good and loyal and serious. My mother really wanted me to if I ever got physically involved with a girl, to stay with that girl for the rest of her life and marry her and all this stuff. And she really placed a lot of emphasis on that. So I was unprepared for the phenomena of girls that are just having flings and stuff. And I went through a lot of that. And be warned, I'd like people that hear my stream, be careful about those things and don't let it happen to you. It's sad. But what this whole thing of being sexually assaulted in the library, it brought back some very painful memories for me. And what happened was this. I had sort of developed an aversion for local girls. And, I almost dated a Haitian girl, a black girl, but her mother would not. Haitians are like, you got to get married. There's no shacking up or dating and stuff like that. You got to get married, right? And her mom was highly educated and an attorney and everything, and knew enough about Haitian history that she was like, my daughter will marry a white person over my dead body. So our relationship, did not go on. And when her mother disapproved, I put it down. But I was not interested in the typical Atlanta white girl or whatever. I'd just been burnt too many times, right? So, this Korean girl started hanging out with me because I was popular. I was really good at math, and I helped her some with math and stuff like that. And it was a trend for Korean girls. Korean girls were kind of expected to still get married, but in their struggle with modernity, the standard was being raised. Korean girls would talk about this. Well, now we need to get a professional degree or something like that. But still, we're expected once we marry, then that will make us eligible to marry a professional Korean. But then we're still expected to go home and be a housewife. Yes, so it's not actually a level up. And I thought this girl was so beautiful. I'm sorry, I'm just chatting, but my macarena is broken. But she had high cheekbones, right? And in Chinese, we say "wei da de lian dan," right? Which is, it means beautiful cheekbones, right? But not really. Because wei da actually more typically means gigantic, gargantuan, or huge, mighty, or something like that. Wei da, right? Right, so wei da and lian dan, it doesn't actually literally translate as cheekbones. It means face eggs. Lian is your face, and dan is an egg, right? It means you have these big bulbous cheekbones, which to Westerners, well, at least to me, I thought she was breathtakingly beautiful Korean girl. And we just had fun together and hung out. We did all these things and stuff like that. But, as I said, I had been through some tough breakups, and I was hesitant to make a move with this girl, because it's a turning point, you know. Because, well, I mean, here's my way. Typically, I would not go through a lot of can I have a date kind of stuff. It's too creepy, you know. I'm just like, look, let's just hang out, you know. No, nothing, you know. Let's just hang out. We get along for a while, and we're together for a long time. And at some point, I'll just lean over and kiss you on the mouth, and then you will tell me, you'll either kiss me back or you'll be like, no, that scares me, right? And I'll say, I'm so sorry. And then that will be that. Either a relationship will start or it won't, right? Anyway, I'm in the building, in the way I remember it, and there's a little bit of time confusion about where I was in employment or whatever. It seems like I was still working, and I had to still be working in the math lab. I'm trying to be putting it back together. But I know what it was. I was a student assistant in microcomputer repair. But anyway, what happened was this. Is she came running up the hallway into the Classroom South building, and she was in tears. She was crying so hard. And usually a Korean, they don't do that. And I was like in shock. And I was like, hey, you know, calm down. It's okay. And she's like, oh, it's not okay. And she was, her backpack was spilling out and stuff. I was like, let me help you. Look, come on, calm down. We'll talk about it. You know, we'll talk about it. Everything's going to be okay. So we sit down, and she said the police came and they thought I was stealing, and I was like, well, you know, slow down. What happened? And she said, she calmed down a little bit. I mean, she's really crying, right? Tears are coming down her face and stuff. And I just feel awful. I'm over empathic, right? So when I see a real profound outward expression of emotion, I'm really feeling a lot of pain too, right? And here's this beautiful girl by my side, you know, my buddy, my pal, my friend, and everything like that. And you know, we weren't an item yet, but we were kind of an item. We were really hanging out a lot together and going around together all over campus and doing things together all the time. And so she said, this is the cliffhanger part. You're like, what happened? Why did the police try to grab her? Why did the police think that she was stealing? You know, because she's clearly, you know, really humiliated that she was accused of, you know, well, she told me she was on the bridge on it's like the third floor. There's a bridge between the library and and the library and North building at Georgia State University over Decatur Street. It's been decades since this happened, so it's, you know, I'm not doxing anybody, I don't think. But she was like, I was on the bridge and I was studying and I thought I would fall asleep, and a man had his pants down by my table, and she started to, you know, put her hand down, and then she was just like, oh, she put her hand on her face. You know, it's clear a guy had walked up to her table and thought she was so hot that, believe it or not, he dropped trowel and started abusing himself right in front of her. And so what did she do? She screamed, and there's nobody on the floor, right? You know, and so she grabs her books as fast as she can, and she runs for the stairwell. I guess, you know, she's afraid to get on the elevator with a pervert. You know, what if he got in the elevator and, you know, they were trapped together or something like that? And she ran to the turnstile to the security gate. She forgot that she had a book that had not been checked out. And so the gate is like, ka-chung, and the turnstile locks, and she said, I almost fell, you know, all my bag flew, and all my stuff flew out, and I hit my stomach, and, you know, the turnstile locked, and she almost fell over the turnstile, and the moron, you know, the guy grabs the bat phone, you know, thief in the library, you know, somebody's trying to rush out and steal books or whatever. Alarm, and all these cops come rushing in. It's just like, there was a man. I just ran because there was a naked man, a man with his pants down, you know. I didn't know what to say. it really tore me up. And I'm like, man, that's so pissed off. And I'm like, what can you do? And she, you know, I was like, it's okay. See that, you know, she's like, she sort of feels like the police are now watching me as a potential thief, and maybe they are, you know, I don't know. But that, you know, I thought at the time, I was like, nah, they probably ran up to see if this guy was up there. And they probably believed you, you know, and said, well, it's easier just to let her go. You know, here's your book back. I don't care. I don't need it. I'm leaving this place, you know, out of the library. And they thought it best to let her go, and they let her go. But she was really upset. And so I'm like, I talked to her for a few minutes, and I have multiple jobs as a student assistant, and this is many years ago, you know. And I had to go man the desk at the gym, by the weight room or whatever, for one of those jobs. And a security guard is coming in the building, and he's laughing hysterically, right? So I can hear him the opposite side of the building. It's like, my God, he's laughing hysterically. And I'm like, we got to find out what it, you know. So he comes up, and I'm like, stop laughing for a minute. He's like, I can't laugh. He's like rolling to one wall, into the next. Like, and I'm like, what on earth? It's so funny. He's like, you're not going to believe this shit. And he's like, they got some call about somebody choking his chicken in the library. And in the South, you know what that means. That means self-abuse. It means masturbation or whatever like that. Chicken choking. He's choking his chicken. And he said, the police had run up to the third floor, and he went with them because it was interesting. You know, it's like, I want to check this out. You know, is this real? And sure enough, here's this weasel ringing dude, still rooted to the spot. And the police, he said, I had to run, man, because I could not hold. It was so funny because the guy said, the police were like, halt, halt. And the guy's like, not just yet, not just yet. And he said the cops were jumping. Nobody wanted to grab him, right? They didn't want to get caught in the line of fire, perhaps, or something like that. Oh, my God. And, you know, I mean, at that moment, it really hit home that when she was telling me the story, I was like, man, this is almost unbelievable. Are you sure you weren't dreaming or something like that? Or are you losing your mind or something like that? Or it's just like, could somebody really do that stupid, kind of be so, you know, just out of control that they would do that, walk up to somebody in broad daylight and just drop their pants and try to get off or something like that? How awful is that, right? So, yeah, it was real. And I don't know I didn't get any word about the final outcome. But of course, you know, after that, I just recoiled from, you know, I didn't want to tell her that I liked her or make a move or anything like that. Because after that happened, I was just like, that is so awful the way men do to women. How could, you know, that's just so, and like a Chinese person would say, that's like something a Japanese would do. But, you know, men do that all over the world. And, but you know, it just ruined everything, you know, because I was just like, I cannot tell her that I like her or something. I'm definitely not going to make a pass at her, you know, after this happened. You know, I just recoiled. And maybe I have an overwrought sense of empathy, but things got back to normal. And this is another sort of cliffhanger. You're like, well, what happened? You know, did you guys, you know, the romance, you know, flourish, or what was the outcome and everything like that? And I was like, I knew Koreans were not chasing her because by Korean standards, she has the cheekbone. She's like considered ugly by Koreans, and you know, nobody was really paying attention to her because by their standards, you know, she's not interesting or whatever. So she hung out with me for, it was like a year shot by, and we just went places. We laughed and we strolled in the park. In the springtime, the flowers are blooming and the dogwoods are blooming and the fragrance, and you know, we watched movies together and just had such a good time. And finally, she was dropping me at my apartment in Home Park. I live with these two girls, Nola, and Lori. And my Korean friend was dropping me off. Normally I would ride the MARTA train and walk or whatever, but we were really hanging out a lot. And I made a move. I was like, and this is a thing sometimes, a guy that does this kind of thing, it's like there's this kind of leaning around where you're taking off the seat belt, and at that moment, you just kind of turn around and kiss her on the mouth and see what happens. And oh my goodness, my heart must have like hit the stratosphere, because sometimes they kiss you back. And she started for a moment to kiss me back. And I want to tell you, man, my heart went through the ceiling. I was just like so enamored of her after such a long delay and everything like that, and not ever wanting to spoil what we had together by taking it a step further. But I mean, after a whole year went by and I was just hanging out with this one girl all the time, I was like, well, it's now or never. Right? So I did it, but she backed away, and then she looked down and she looked really sad. She made a really sad face. And I said, I'm sorry. I'm really, and I was sorry. I was like, oh, that's so lowbrow with you womanizer playboy trying to kiss some innocent, beautiful, innocent girl, and it's a big deal for her, and how could you do that? And that's what I was thinking in my mind. Felt guilty. And she was like, no, I'm sorry. And my heart rose, and she said, I can't. My parents, I have a boyfriend. You mean tell me we've been walking around together like this for 2 years or a year and a half or whatever? Where is this boyfriend or whatever like that? But when they say it like that, my parents, I have a boyfriend, it's sort of like, well, presumably your parents have decided who you're getting married to, and you're supposed to finish college, and you're going to go take care of this guy's kitchen or whatever and cook meals and everything, have babies or whatever, because he's accepted you even though you're a really ugly girl. And that's sort of a tragedy, when somebody on another boundary, like I don't know what she must have thought I was good looking. A lot of people did, that I was very handsome or whatever like that. So, and she kissed me a little bit, very nicely. But then she was like, I cannot. Nope, my parents, I can't. My parents, I have a boyfriend. That's what she said. And, so I was like, knowing what that meant, or having more of a sense of what it meant for an Asian girl or whatever like that, I just kind of backed off. But both of us knew that there was this thing there. So we kind of gradually never hung out together anymore, because it would just, that what I did would always be overshadowing us, and that's, to me, it's a tragedy. So, it's like, how sacred and wonderful would it have been if I never had done that? We might still be in touch with friends today, but because I did that, it was like, I know and something happened, and it can't happen. It's not allowed. So we still see each other in dreams, right? And I thought about that. In dreams, we do so many things. We set aside the rules we know and fly above the world so high in great and shining rings. If only we could always live in dreams. Yeah, that's a song that was written by Roy Orbison, who also had kind of a tragic love life. But why am I saying all this? Well, I know that I need to, first of all, I need to practice Macarena, because I'm trying to be a better player and stuff like that. I need to practice every day. Need to get on. But I didn't plan to get on today. And this thing happened this morning where my friend, tank commander, Bulgarian tank commander, who's now a pilot in the United States or whatever, who's my friend through David Dickens, who gets mad at things that I get mad at, who I like, but I don't have a thing for. A friend of hers, an Asian friend of hers, was sexually assaulted in the library. And that really erupted for me. It reminded me of that bizarre incident decades ago that I experienced of a sexual assault in the library. Usually when I was sexually assaulted in the library, it was the girl that was assaulting me. Kid you not. That's the thing about bad breakups for when you're very young. A person like me, if somebody tries to just use you or exploit you, you get where you back away from girls, and then girls chase you, right? If you can sincerely, and yet, I like to say this periodically for guys that I know a bunch of guys that could never get a girlfriend, and I'm like, I never had a problem. I had problems with too many wanting to. I never had multiple girlfriends at the same time, but I had multiple situations where someone was coming on so strong that it was going to be multiple girlfriends if I didn't get rid of one of them, right? But the different thing about that is, it's not particularly that I'm awesome or anything like that. It's because they have a different kind of sense of you. If you're like jonesing for them, they run away. If you're sincerely running away from them, they come towards you. That's just and it reminds me of Robert Sapolsky's. He's like one of the foremost biologists in the world on human biological behavior and so on. And it came around in his class. He said it so well, and I think he mentioned that he was not the originator of what he said, but he said, well, we're to this thing of what comes first, the chicken or the egg. And he was like, guys, of course the egg comes first. We can see that so clearly now at this point in the course. You could see, the simpler organism always comes first. And then what he said after that was incredible. He was like, the chicken is the egg's way of producing another egg. And to me, that was a very big, life-changing, true statement that says something very profound about the human condition and how complicated things are and what we have to deal with and stuff. And I talk about these things as part of, sometimes when things don't work out the way I want to, and I'm going to try to get off and get my computer fixed and get back on and do my stint of Mech Arena battles and stuff like that. But my stream is about being happy and having a good life. And one of the things is, like, this morning, I cried for that girl that could never happen. It was like there were tears inside me that had never come out, that had never been cried of losing her, and for all of my life wondering what might have been. One of the things about being happy is being human, and sometimes it's don't dream of I want to teach people, if I can do anything I can, leave something behind to teach people I've been a happier person, and I am happy. A lot of trouble comes my way, and things don't go right, and and I'm dealing with stuff, but so is everybody and everything. At some point, I have to look around me and look at how many of my friends are dead. Harry Collier's dead. Dodrick Moore is dead. Dodrick Moore's son is dead. I think Frankie Ross I know is dead. Stanley is dead. All these kids that I grew up with, they're dead, right? And David Gordon and Mark Mantell. I said Harry Collier, Paul Crank. And the list goes on. And Kate Marble, she's dead, right? And some people, they might as well be dead. They're so far lost to me and communication and everything. I can never find them again. And I suffer from these losses, and yet I'm still happy. That's part of, I'm generally a very happy person. And part of being happy is, realizing that you're human and that you can't always be happy. And sometimes there's going to be really sad things, and they'll always be sad. So like the thing that happened is, first of all, I've known my friend, the tank commander, long enough to know that she's upset about and angry about what happened to her Asian friend in the library who was assaulted. I don't know, I've known her long enough to know that, and I feel it palpably, right? And that's never gonna go away, right? But it so happened that it triggered a flood of memory of somebody that I did, held very dear, who was also sexually assaulted. She was not touched by the guy, but that's an assault, to come abuse yourself in front of a poor foreign girl, an Asian girl. She doesn't know where she is, and all, she's just terrified. And then that, because of what you did, she ended up, the police are called she's trying to steal a book because she's like trying to flee and run away from you. Stop doing stuff like that. That's not going to make you happy, right? And the guy that did that thing, he's probably got in jail, indecent exposure or something like that. He probably spent the night in jail or whatever like that. Man, get a grip on yourself. If you got something going on like that, take it in privacy and keep it, away from innocent people, man. Lord. Anyway, I try to make the stream at least a little bit interesting. I'm sorry that I'm not going to risk now my mouse is working fine, but I'm going to go shut down my computer and try to get my life in order and start to